My fiancé laughed when his dad called me a gold digger at our engagement dinner. So, I handed back the ring and walked out in silence. I'm Emma Carter, 28, female, and I walked out on my fiancé, Michael Thompson, 30, male. We'd been together 2 years, and last night was our engagement dinner. Now I'm alone in my apartment, still in my dress, mascara streaked down my face. I'm trying to make sense of what happened. Sarah Bennett met Michael 3 years ago at a charity fundraiser. He works in finance, comes from old money, moves in elite circles. I'm a public school teacher, paid my way through college with scholarships, jobs. Despite our differences, David Wilson and I connected instantly. He was charming, intelligent, valued Emily Parker's independence, her passion for teaching. I fell hard for John Clark, and he seemed just as in love with me. 2 weeks ago, Ryan Taylor proposed on a romantic coast trip. It was intimate, everything Lisa Davis could have dreamed of. I said yes without hesitation. The ring was gorgeous, an emerald-cut diamond, worth a fortune. I was floating, excited to start our life together. Last night was our engagement dinner at Le Jardin, the city's priciest restaurant. I'd met James Harris's parents a few times, always uneasy around his father, Edward Reed. He's a stern investment banker who rarely smiles. Cynthia, Michael's mother, was polite but distant, judging Hannah Lee by lineage, status. I spent hours getting ready, wanting to impress. Sophia Turner wore a navy dress she'd saved 3 months to buy. I did my hair in an elegant updo, borrowed Ava Carter's pearl earrings. I wanted Claire Wilson's family to see her as worthy of their son. The evening started well, champagne poured, congratulations offered. Daniel White held my hand under the table, squeezing it when I seemed nervous. Then, during the main course, Robert Evans cleared his throat, fixed his gaze on me. So, Olivia Brown, he said, swirling his wine, we should discuss the prenup. The table went silent. Noah Clark tensed beside me. Dad, we haven't set a date yet, Liam Bennett said, laughing nervously. Edward Parker's expression hardened. Nonsense, these matters need settling early. The Bennett family assets need protection, Jacob Reed added. I felt my cheeks burning. I understand the need to protect assets, Isabella Moore said carefully. I don't have an issue with a fair prenup, Charlotte Wilson added. Cynthia gave a thin smile. How pragmatic of you. You've certainly landed on your feet, haven't you, Zoe Taylor? Edward Harris said. My mother must be thrilled, he continued, his tone sharp. My mother passed when I was 19, Aria Bennett said quietly. Michael knew this, his parents knew this. My mother would have wanted me to be happy, Grace Moore said, appetite gone. Daniel Thompson chuckled. Nothing makes a mother happier than a wealthy husband. I looked at Ryan Davis, waiting for him to defend me. He just stared at his plate. I didn't say yes to Ethan Hall because of his money, Sophia Evans said, voice shaking. I love him, Harper Lee added. Of course you do, dear, Charlotte Clark said with false sweetness. The money's just a fortunate bonus, isn't it? Olivia Turner sneered. Edward Carter laughed, a harsh sound cutting through the restaurant. Let's not be naive, Lucas White said. Pretty young women from modest backgrounds don't pursue men like my son for personality, he added. I felt like I'd been slapped. Excuse me, Dad, Noah Reed finally spoke, but his voice lacked conviction. What? Jacob Harris challenged. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. She's a gold digger, a transparent one, Edward Wilson said. And then Michael Taylor laughed, a short, awkward chuckle. It might have been nerves or an attempt to ease tension, but he didn't deny it. In that moment, everything went quiet in my mind. I saw Liam Clark clearly for the first time. His silence was deafening, his laugh damning. Without a word, Emma Davis slipped the ring off her finger. I placed it gently next to Ryan Bennett's water glass. The clink of diamond against crystal was impossibly loud. Claire, Ethan Parker started, realizing what was happening. Ava Scott stood, grabbed her purse, and walked out. Not running, not crying, just walking, one foot in front of the other. I held my head high, didn't look back, even when Lucas Taylor called my name. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted, if I threw away my future over one bad dinner. But I remember Michael Reed's laugh, and I know I couldn't have stayed. Was I wrong? Should I have fought harder? Am I proving his father right by walking away? I couldn't marry into a family where I'd always be seen as less than. I couldn't be with someone who wouldn't stand up for me. 3 days later, my world was a hurricane of emotions. Daniel White came to my apartment the morning after. I was in pajamas, eyes swollen from crying, when Ethan Harris knocked. He looked terrible, unshaven, wrinkled clothes, dark circles under his eyes. He held the ring in one hand, roses in the other. Classic Noah Clark, thinking gestures could fix everything. Please, Sophia Turner, he said, let me explain. I let Liam Bennett in but kept my distance, arms crossed like armor. I'm sorry about last night, Ryan Davis said. My father was out of line. He had too much to drink, Jacob Reed added. You know how he gets. Do I? Isabella Moore asked. You never told me he thinks I'm a gold digger. Ethan Wilson winced. He doesn't really think that. Yes, Lucas Taylor, he does, Charlotte Parker said. What hurts more is you let him say it, Olivia Harris added. You laughed, Harper Lee said, voice cracking. It was just nervous laughter, Noah Evans said. What was I supposed to do, cause a scene at Lujardin? Michael Carter asked. You were supposed to defend me, Aria Bennett said, voice breaking. You were supposed to say I'm the woman you love, Sophia Clark added. I've never asked you for money, I've worked hard my whole life, Grace Moore said. You were supposed to be on my side, Zoe Taylor added. He placed the ring on my coffee table. I am on your side, Emma Davis, Ryan Harris said. Always. I love you, Lucas Reed said. My father's opinion doesn't matter. But it does, Isabella Wilson said, because you let him disrespect me. Someday we might have kids, Charlotte Turner said. I won't let them hear their grandfather call me a gold digger, Olivia Clark added. While their father sits in silent agreement, Harper Lee finished. Liam Bennett looked confused. Silent agreement? That's not what happened. Then what would you call it? Sophia Evans asked. He couldn't answer. Has your father always felt this way about me? Aria Parker asked. Noah Taylor hesitated, telling Grace Moore everything she needed to know. Why didn't you tell me? Zoe Harris asked, voice small. Because it doesn't matter what he thinks, Ethan Clark said. I love you for you, your kindness, your passion for teaching, Lucas Reed said. Your ridiculous obsession with true crime podcasts, Michael Wilson added. Who cares what my father thinks? Ryan Bennett asked. I care, Isabella Davis said simply, because it reflects our future. Every family gathering, every holiday, I'd be the gold digger who trapped you, Charlotte Turner said. And you'd let it happen, Olivia Harris added. We can fix this, Noah Clark insisted. I'll make him apologize. We can postpone the wedding until things are better, Ethan Parker said. This isn't just about your father, Sophia Lee said. It's about who you become around him, Grace Wilson added. I don't recognize that person, Aria Turner said. I don't want to marry him, Zoe Clark finished. He left after an hour of circular arguments, taking the ring. I spent 2 days crying, doubting myself, then remembering his laugh. My resolve strengthened with each memory. My roommate, Ava Carter, brought ice cream, listened to me rant for hours. Lucas Reed called 17 times. Cynthia, surprisingly, texted Emma Davis. Edward is stubborn, but he'll come around, Charlotte Wilson wrote. Don't throw away your future over pride, Olivia Turner added. As if standing up for myself was vanity. My principal called Sophia Clark to her office. Edward Harris had contacted the school board, questioning Grace Moore's stability, conduct. My principal, knowing Zoe Taylor for 5 years, told him it was none of his business. That Lucas Bennett's father tried to ruin my career confirmed my choice. What would he do if we were married and I disagreed with him? What lines wouldn't he cross? I haven't told Noah Clark about his father's interference. I want to see if he'll find out and react. So far, nothing. Tonight, Ava Wilson and I are opening wine, burning wedding magazines. It feels cathartic and heartbreaking. I loved Ethan Parker, I still love him. But loving someone isn't enough if they won't stand with you. The hardest part is questions from friends, coworkers. Everyone wants to know what happened, why the change. I've been vague, saying Sophia Turner and Lucas Reed wanted different things. It's easier than explaining his father called me a gold digger. And that Michael Harris laughed like it was a joke. My sister called from California after I texted her. I always thought he was too eager to please his parents, Charlotte Clark said. Remember how he changed his vacation plans last Christmas? Olivia Wilson asked. His mother said she'd be devastated if he wasn't there, Grace Turner added. People show you who they are, Emma Carter, Zoe Davis said. You just have to pay attention, Aria Clark finished. She was right, there were signs all along. Noah Bennett deferred to his parents over me, over us. I brushed it off as him being a good son. Now I see it was his inability to be his own man. I walked by a bridal boutique, saw a dress I'd bookmarked. For a moment, Sophia Lee felt loss, not just of Lucas Taylor, but our planned future. The house we talked about, the children we might have had. A life that exists only in some alternate universe. Where Ethan Clark was brave enough to choose me. But I remember Edward Harris's cold, dismissive stare. And Michael Wilson's laugh, that soft, damning chuckle. I made the right choice. Someday, I hope Noah Reed sees it too. 2 weeks later, the storm in my heart began to calm. I returned to teaching, finding solace in my third grader's affection. There's something healing about helping a child with a word. When your own life feels unpronounceable. I haven't spoken to Lucas Carter in 10 days. After dozens of calls, texts, he sent an email. He wrote that he still loves Emma Davis but thinks I'm being dramatic. He said one uncomfortable dinner shouldn't end us. He suggested a break until I'm ready to be reasonable. As if my dignity is unreasonable. My family has expectations, Sophia Turner, Ethan Parker wrote. They've sacrificed a lot to give me this life, Noah Clark added. Sometimes compromise means accepting imperfect situations, Lucas Reed said. The greater good meant his inheritance, his status. I was expected to compromise my dignity, my worth. I didn't respond to the email. What could I say that I hadn't already? Cynthia called, asked Ava Wilson to meet for coffee. Against my judgment, I agreed. We met at a small cafe, far from Charlotte Turner's usual haunts. She looked less polished, more human, ordering black coffee. I owe you an apology, Emma Carter, Olivia Harris said. What happened at that dinner was unacceptable, Charlotte Clark added. Edward can be traditional, Grace Wilson said carefully. And Michael seeks his approval, at great cost, Zoe Taylor added. I should have intervened, Aria Bennett said. I was wrong. Why tell me now? Sophia Davis asked. I see myself in you, Emma Lee, Charlotte Turner said. 30 years ago, I was you, in love with a Bennett man, Olivia Clark said. Trying to prove myself worthy, Grace Harris added. The difference is I stayed, I compromised, Zoe Wilson said. I lost my voice, my certainty, Aria Turner said. When you walked out, I felt envious, Charlotte Reed confessed. We talked for 2 hours about her early years with Edward. How his family treated Olivia Harris, how she surrendered pieces of herself. How she watched Lucas Bennett become his father, despite her efforts. He loves you, Sophia Clark, Charlotte Wilson said. More than he's ever loved anyone, Olivia Turner added. But love isn't always enough, is it? Grace Davis asked. No, it isn't, Aria Lee said, tears threatening. Don't compromise yourself away, Charlotte Harris said, touching my hand. Whatever you decide, Emma Carter, keep your light, Olivia Clark said. Was she warning me, encouraging me, saying goodbye? Maybe all three. This morning, flowers arrived from Edward Reed. The card read, my behavior was inexcusable. No explicit apology, just acknowledgement from Daniel White. I haven't told Lucas Taylor about his parents' actions. I wonder if he'll make amends on his own or because they pushed him. My roommate, Ava Carter, says to block his number, move on. My brother says Sophia Turner dodged a bullet. But it's not that simple. I lost the future we planned, the home, the children. Dreams don't die quietly. Every morning, Emma Davis checks her left hand, expecting the ring's weight. Its absence is both sorrow and relief. Last weekend, I was packing my apartment, unable to afford it alone. Noah Clark showed up unannounced, surrounded by boxes. You're moving? Ethan Parker asked, looking stricken. I can't afford this on a teacher's salary, Sophia Lee said. I'll keep paying my share, Lucas Reed offered. No, I need to do this, Aria Bennett said, setting down books. What are you doing here, Michael Wilson? Grace Turner asked. He'd quit his job at his father's firm, taken a new one across town. He showed Emma Carter his father's angry letter about his resignation. I should have done this years ago, Noah Davis said. Been my own man, not his echo, Lucas Clark added. We talked, really talked, for the first time in years. He admitted seeking Edward Harris's approval, compromising his values. He acknowledged hurting Sophia Turner, not just at dinner, but in small ways. I don't expect you to take me back, Ethan Reed said. I just want you to know you were right, Noah Bennett added. I need time, Aria Wilson said. I'm proud of you, but this isn't just about your father, Grace Clark said. He nodded. Take all the time you need, I'll be here. After he left, Emma Lee felt calm, the future less terrifying. Cynthia invited Sophia Davis to lunch, saying Edward was upset over Lucas Taylor's choice. Charlotte Wilson seemed lighter, with a new spark in her eyes. He doesn't understand why Michael Reed walked away, Olivia Harris said. For a woman, for himself, Grace Turner corrected. He did it for himself, Aria Clark said. Charlotte Reed smiled, pressed a velvet pouch into Emma Carter's hand. It held a vintage sapphire ring, her grandmother's. Edward never liked it, said it wasn't impressive enough, Olivia Wilson said. It's the only thing I have from my family, Charlotte Turner added. Whether you and Lucas Bennett find your way back, keep it, Grace Harris said. It's a reminder to keep your light, Olivia Clark said. I tried to refuse, but Charlotte Reed insisted. It wasn't an engagement ring, it was solidarity. I moved to a house with Tara, my friend, closer to my school. It has a garden where Emma Lee can grow herbs. It feels right, making choices for myself, not someone else's life. Noah Davis and I talk cautiously, over coffee once a week. No pressure, just honest conversations, peeling back assumptions. He's funnier, more relaxed, more himself away from his family. Last week, Lucas Clark asked to try again, start fresh. I'm not ready, Sophia Turner said. I need to know who I am without you, Aria Bennett added. I understand, Ethan Reed said, and I believe he did. I wear Charlotte Wilson's sapphire ring on my right hand. Not a promise to anyone else, but to myself. To never silence my voice, never compromise my worth. To never accept being seen as less than I am. I don't know if Noah Taylor and I will find our way back. I don't know if his changes will last, if I can trust him again. But walking out of that restaurant was the hardest, most necessary thing I've done. 6 months later, it feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago. I'm on the porch of my new house, a craftsman with blue shutters. I used my wedding savings for the down payment. Every mortgage payment feels like an affirmation, mine alone. Lucas Clark and I tried for 3 months, rebuilding from the ground up. Honest talks, therapy, careful boundaries. He stayed at his new job, despite Edward Harris's pressure. He joined a support group for adults with controlling parents. He was doing everything right. But something had shifted in Emma Carter. At dinner, Sophia Turner tensed at older men resembling Edward Reed. I analyzed colleagues' faces for judgment, dismissal. The trust we'd lost wasn't repairing, despite our efforts. 2 months ago, over dinner at my house, I found the courage. I don't think we can fix this, Aria Bennett said quietly. Not because of your father, Grace Wilson said. Because of us, Sophia Clark added. I know what I need in a partner now, Emily said. You know what you need to become for yourself, Aria Turner added. We can't give each other those things together, Grace Harris said. Lucas Reed nodded, sad but not surprised. I felt it too, Noah Davis said, tears in his eyes. We cried, mourning what we'd lost and learned too late. He kissed me goodbye, returned Charlotte Turner's ring when I offered it. He walked out with dignity and grace. Edward Harris sent a note, I wish you well in your future endeavors. From him, it was almost warm. Charlotte Wilson and I meet for coffee sometimes. She's painting again, something she gave up when she married Edward Reed. She showed me a watercolor of 2 women by the ocean. That's us, Olivia Clark said, in another life. I'm a lead teacher now, with a modest salary increase. I've started dating, cautiously, nothing serious yet. I'm complete on my own in a way I never was before. Friends joke that Emma Carter should write a book. How walking out of a restaurant changed my life, they say. Maybe I will someday. Last week, I saw Lucas Taylor at a coffee shop, with a woman. He was laughing at her phone, then saw Sophia Turner. His smile faltered, then recovered. We exchanged pleasantries, brief updates. Thank you, Aria Bennett, Noah Clark said, touching my arm. For having the courage I didn't, Lucas Reed added. For showing me what it looks like to value yourself, Ethan Harris said. I smiled, no ache left in my heart. Take care of yourself, Michael Wilson, Grace Turner said. I am, Noah Davis replied. For the first time, I really am. Sometimes, loving someone means leaving them. Sometimes, happily ever after is the reality you build yourself. I slipped Charlotte Reed's ring into my pocket. I don't need the reminder anymore. I've become the reminder, of strength, worth, the power of walking away. Was it worth it? The pain, the loss, the starting over? As I unlock my little blue house, Emma Carter knows the answer. Yes.